from Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. It's the 2013 KHSAA Boys Sweet 16 State Championship basketball game. The 96, that's right, almost 100 years we've been playing the state basketball championship. Gary Ball with Brian Milam, and Brian, even though it's been almost 100 years, we have had some great basketball. We didn't set it back 100 years with this tournament.
No, this has been one for the record books, literally and figuratively, and we conclude it today with Ballard and with Madison Central, two of the state's best, and they will decide the champion.
Yeah, they were kind of the pre-tournament favorites, Ballard and Madison Central. They both lived up to that billing, and we're going to take a look now at the brackets and how they got here. And you got to start with Madison Central, opening up, of course, with Wayne County and the legendary Rodney Woods.
Yeah, Madison Central, easy time of it against Wayne County. In the second round in the semifinals, Madison Central has had to rally against Holmes and Hoptown, two outstanding athletic teams to get here.
Beetle Bolden, that point guard for Holmes, an outstanding sophomore, one of the best in the state. And then, of course, for Hoptown, Jordan Majors put on a show with 31 points.
Well, putting on the show, however, has been Dominic Hawkins.
Yes.
He has stolen the show. If those other guys set the stage, he's stolen it. Now, as we go to the other bracket, though, Ballard, they played the two mountain teams, Knott County Central and Johnson Central. Last night against Montgomery County, they had a Donnybrook.
You bring up a very good point. They played Shane Hall, they played Cameron Justice. A little bit different ball player going up against Dominic Hawkins. Those two kids are sensational, but I think Dominic Hawkins probably a little better athletically than any one of those guys.
Dominic Hawkins is a special player, and he's shown that today.
And we'll talk, when we come back, Brian, we'll go talk about some of the great players for Ballard and Madison Central as we continue on here on the pregame of the 2013 KHSAA Boys Sweet 16 State Championship. And welcome back to Rupp Arena, the 2013 Kentucky High School Athletic Association Boys Sweet 16 State Championship. Gary Ball, Brian Milam, courtside. We're going to tell you about the individuals in this game now. We got to start with Louisville Ballard. Keelan Martin, a double-double guy. He's a junior, Brian. He's a special player.
He is very, very good. This entire Ballard team is very good. But he, as you mentioned, is the double-double guy. He does a lot of the dirty work in the paint. If Ballard needs a rebound, Martin is usually the guy bringing it down.
And a lot of people talk about Quentin Snyder, who's going to Louisville. He's special, but I just think Martin does so much for him on both sides of the basketball, and he's so big at 6'6", 235 pounds. He's a nightmare to match up with.
And it could be a nightmare for Madison Central in the paint because Quan Taylor has been in foul trouble during this state tournament, and Central really doesn't have anybody in the paint to go up against him.
And also, I think Kenja Bosley had to shoot the basketball a lot better for Madison Central than he did 0 for 12 in their semifinal win last night. He's got to shoot the ball better than that, even though he came back with a couple big shots late in the game.
It would not have been such a close game yesterday had Bosley hit some shots, but he finally got going. Dominic Hawkins, the man for Madison Central, he's got 86 points in the tournament, back-to-back 30-point games. We all know, this entire place knows, if Madison Central is to get their first title ever, right, Dominic Hawkins may not be able to wait till the second half like he has in the prior two ball games.
Yeah, they got to put two halves together against Ballard. If they play the first half like they did against Holmes, Ballard might run them off the court here tonight.
Ballard has the tradition in terms of state championships, but Madison Central is looking to get their first.
Yeah, Ballard, a team that seems like they're always their, fifth trip to the state championship game, I believe it is, and Madison Central making their second. They made one back in 1970, lost to Mayo in that game. We will come back with the starting lineups and more pregame here on the 2013 Kentucky High School Athletic Association Boys Sweet 16 State Championship game. And you see the band there fired up for Ballard High School. We're back at Rupp Arena for the boys state championship game. Gary Ball, Brian Milam courtside, and it should be one heck of a high school basketball game. And let's take a look at the Bruins of Louisville Ballard, what they will bring to the starting five. The freshman there, Brian Milam, everybody talking about Malik Dow. You know he's sensational if he starts for Ballard High School as a freshman.
A 6'3" freshman, extremely athletic. He scored the Bruins' first 12 points in the state semifinals yesterday, and then scored only 2 the rest of the way, but he got the Bruins off to a good start. Then you look at Martin and Holland in there, Snyder, the four guys of Holland, Snyder, Martin, and Dow. That's the basketball firm at Ballard, and they have really helped set the tone here to get these guys into this 8th championship game.
And Dontez Bird there, your defensive starter. You got Daniel Park, the outstanding three-point shooter, had a huge rebound in the regional semifinal. Kenja Bosley, Quan Taylor, Dominic Hawkins, Mr. Basketball finalist. Hunter Stocker, he's going to play his college football at Pikeville College. And a great leader out there on the boards for Madison Central. We'll return to Rupp Arena with the tip and the state championship after this timeout. Back at Rupp Arena, a lot of those hanging in Rupp Arena, state and national titles, and now that state championship banner Brian Milam will hang in either Ballard or Madison Central. If it's in Richmond, it'll be the first banner ever hung there in Richmond, Madison Central High School.
For Ballard, they won it in 77, 88, and 99. Chris Renner winning it in 99. And he's been a runner-up 3 times, though. It's been a drought of 14 years since that championship. And for Alan Feldhaus, I spoke to him earlier this week. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. 15 regional championships since 1969. They've won it 3 times. They've lost 4 times. So this is their 8th chance at getting a championship. The last appearance, Shelby Valley knocking off the Bruins 3 years ago.
And Ballard, probably one of the most storied games and traditions in the state tournament. When you go back to that Richie Farmer, Alan Feldhaus battle, everybody talks about that as one of the legendary games ever played in the Sweet 16.
25 years ago, Farmer and Alan Houston, Mark Bell,
Alan Houston.
Kenneth Martin, whose son Keelan is out here. He had 24 in that game. Maybe Keelan will do that as well. Madison Central, they have not had the tradition Ballard has had in terms of state championship, state tournament appearances. Right. They went to the Final Four in '87 with Don Richardson, lost to Clay County on this court in the morning session. So Madison Central, they lost as the Richmond Madison Purples in 1970. They want to hang that banner, and they have a perfect square and a perfect place for it.
And, of course, Alan Feldhaus there. He played in a state championship game, but a young man by the name of Troy McKinley at Simon Kenton hit so many shots out of that corner, they fell a little short. A big high school with 4 Sweet 16 appearances, no state titles last year in 2006. And, of course, Madison Central, everybody around Kentucky lore remembers them, of course, for Marquise Estel, the great big man that played one of the top field goal shooters ever to play at the University of Kentucky.
They played Marquise Estel, Keneal Jenkins, that group in '99 beat Clay County in the first round, ending Bobby Keith's career as a high school coach. And Bobby Keith has been here. He was the coach at 25 years ago that lost to Ballard, Alan Feldhaus. He played in that '81 championship, the largest crowd ever for a championship game in Sweet 16 history, 19,776. And I spoke to him earlier this week, and I said, your mind has to drift a little bit. It's been 32 years. You could win this for your dad, your brother Willie, for Darren. And he said, we'll just take it one game at a time. Well, they're here for the final game.
A different approach by Coach Feldhaus for this team. He trusts in Dominic Hawkins and Bosley and Taylor and Park and Stocker so much that he's kind of giving them the reins. He's kind of giving them the keys to the car. It's a more gentler, a calmer Alan Feldhaus Jr. And I think it's because he's very comfortable with the seniors he puts out there on the floor.
It is for a fiery coach from a fiery family who loves to emotionally show themselves in a game and get pumped up. You're right, he has been as meek as a lamb when Dominique Hawkins has the ball. Why would you worry?
Well, and Chris Renner on the other side for Louisville Ballard. If you and I had the talent he's got with Martin, Snyder, Levon Holland, a freshman who's probably one of the best freshmen in the state in Dow, we'd roll out the basketballs. We'd be pretty calm about it, too. Ballard is flat loaded, talent-wise.
Ballard is extremely talented. They are loaded, as you mentioned, and Chris Renner, you have to give this guy some credit because Trinity was thought to maybe be the team to come back and repeat as champions. We've only had 3 champions repeat in the modern era of basketball, Fairdale being the last some 22 years ago. And Renner making his 5th appearance in the state championship for Ballard. That says something. And that young man, Dominique Hawkins, he has stolen the hearts and the minds, and he's stolen the show this week.
Kevin Hembry, Brian Cook, Jason Reinecke have the honors of officiating the boys state championship here tonight. Gary Ball, Brian Milam, the entire crew. We're set for the state championship. I don't know if we're going to reach quite that record crowd you talked about, 19 plus, but it's going to be pretty close. And the tap will be controlled. Stocker's got it. He's a big quarterback on that football team. Kenja Bosley, one of the top wide receivers in the state. I tell you what, you got a football team out here. You got one of the top tailbacks with the basketball, also Mr. Basketball finalist.
Dominique Hawkins rushing for more than 2,000 yards, a quarterback.
Taylor,
got a lot.
Triple team ball stripped out of there by Dow, the freshman.
Ballard applies so much pressure defensively. I want to see how well they shoot from the outside. They've struggled from three-point range in this tournament.
Shot on the right side wouldn't go there for Ballard, and here comes Madison Central's Dominique Hawkins. Hanging, Hawkins, and rolls off, rebounded by Dow. Dow a steal, now a rebound. Quentin Snyder there, he's headed to Louisville, he's already committed to Louisville, and here's going to be a turnover by Levon Holland, the senior. Look at these averages, Brian Milam. Snyder at almost 20 points a game. Keelan Martin at almost 20 points a game, 10 rebounds. Holland at over 14 points a game.
A very balanced ball club, and that's something Madison Central has not been in the tournament. It's been Hawkins, Bosley, or nothing. So we'll see how that plays out.
Bosley, who hit his last 3 shots but missed 12 first shots in the semifinal game. Here's going to be a foul as he drove to the basket. And let's see if they call that on. They're going to call that on Holland, Levon Holland. First on him, first team foul. No score, 6:57 to go in the first quarter of the boys state championship, Central and Ballard. They played earlier this year. We'll tell you about that game as we get going here. Hawkins almost lost it. Bosley has it knocked away. That's what I was talking about with Dantes Bird. Brian, he is the defensive stopper for Ballard.
And he is placed one-on-one with Dominique Hawkins. So if Bird can limit Hawkins' ability to get to the lane, that's one of the keys, because Hawkins is a good shot outside, but not a great shot.
Stocker, a 3, bullseye. Hunter Stocker from Daniel Park, and it gives Central an early lead, 3-0.
Any offensive production you get from Hunter Stocker is a plus.
Quentin Snyder's shot won't go, rebounded there. Dominique Hawkins has it for Madison Central. They're in the white, Ballard in the dark. Stocker over to Park now, looking for some help. Quentin Snyder's on him, Brian. Here's Bosley, a little teardrop, rolls in. Bosley, good start for Kenja.
A 1-for-1's a lot better than 0 for 12 yesterday.
Anytime, any day, 5-0. With it right side is Dantes Bird, the senior. Lobs it down low now. There's Dow spinning, won't go, and a nice rebound by QT. Quan Taylor almost stolen away, and then Dominic has his legs knocked out from under him. And that's all inadvertent there. No ill feel there at all by the freshman Dow. Let's take a look here at that nice little teardrop move.
Bosley gets to the lane, and if you can get to the lane with Ballard, I think that's one thing you will see with Allen Feldhouse in this game. Madison Central has settled for a lot of outside shots early, especially against Hopkinsville. Right. So long and so lean. They've got to get to the middle of the court, get to the paint, and get some easier shots.
Good start by the Indians. They're up top 5-0. When they played back in December, it was 88-86 Ballard. Here's Bosley. That 10-footer won't go. Rebounded by Martin. He kicks it out now to Holland. Holland wanting to run, lost control of it, lost it out of bounds. Back to that 88-86 Ballard win. Dominic Hawkins went for 37. And also, you had the Snyder kid going for 35 for Ballard in that game.
Yeah, the king of the bluegrass only brings in the best of the best. And it's ironic, I guess. Here they are, the best of the best, playing for the championship.
Been ranked 1-2 all year up there with, as Brian said, with Trinity and Bullitt East. These 4 teams, Ballard, Madison Central, Trinity East, the top 4 pretty much all year long with Henry Clay up there. Here's Stocker, 10-footer, off the mark, won't go. He hit a 3-pointer. It's still 5-0 Madison Central. Here comes Ballard. Quentin Snyder.
Ballard, when on defense, is using the old Scotty Davenport defensive move, double-team the best player. Dominique Hawkins is being double-teamed as soon as he has a chance.
And Park tried to alley-oop to Quan Taylor, unfortunately hit the rim. Here comes Ballard. Holland thought about the 3. Last time down here, he will fire the 3, knock it down. He says, I'm not thinking about it. I'm going to knock it down. 5-3 on the Holland trifecta.
Let's see how Ballard goes at Hawkins. He's yet to take He's yet to get on track. He has been a second-half player in this tournament, but they have double-teamed him, has Ballard. And everywhere Hawkins goes, at the top of the screen, you see Bird. He is in his jersey.
Quan Taylor back over to Stocker, 15-footer, no good, and tries to get his own miss, and we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have a push called, and it looks like it's going to go against the Ballard, and it may go against the freshman Dow. Yep.
Well, they called it on Bird. They called it on Bird. The officials for today, Kevin Hembry, who made that call from the 13th region, Brian Cook out of region 14, a couple of mountain guys, and Jason Renicky, region 9. Bosley for 3.
And in and out, and there's Taylor going over the back with Dominic, as knocked to the floor there is Bird. And that foul's going to be on, it doesn't seem like Quan Taylor minds giving up fouls, because he gets into foul trouble almost every game for Madison Central.
Against Holmes, he got into foul trouble. And Alan Feldhaus is one of the great lines this week. He said, well, I know one guy who certainly rested up for Hopkinsville, because Quan Taylor sat the bench a lot in that Holmes game.
Quentin Snyder, he committed to Louisville early on. He's a junior. Right side to go to Bird. And looks like we got a substitution in there.
Nice take. And
shot,
one.
And one as it counts. Corey Douglas has checked in.
Snyder gets to the lane. Nice crossover. And the foul on Hunter Stocker going with the glass. Ballard has the ability to own the paint in this game, especially if Quan Taylor and Hunter Stocker get into some sort of foul trouble. DeMarcus George, he is into the game now, but George does not have the brawn or the leaping ability, doesn't have the brawn of Stocker, doesn't have the leaping ability of a Quan Taylor. How those two guys go in the post could dictate what Ballard gets shot-wise around the rim.
Snyder's free throw rattles in, and the three-point play by Snyder gives the first lead to Ballard after Central jumped out to a 5-0 lead, a 6-0 run here by Ballard. And Brian, that was a great job there by Quentin Snyder. I was trying to realize that Douglas checked in, looking down for a second to the basket. Now Walker hanging, throwing it up, drawing the foul there on Douglas. Back to my point. Great job by Snyder to keep his body to the left and use the glass on that shot on that three-point play earlier.
Madison Central has made a living at the free throw line the last couple of ball games here. You see Walker gets in with the head fake. And I've never understood players usually on the head fake. It's the second time they go up and players still foul. You've got a 6 to 7 inch height advantage on this guy. You don't need to jump.
Free throw no good, but tapped out there by Taylor. Quan Taylor. Here's Dominic Hawkins.
Quan Taylor is very similar to a Dennis Rodman. He's not going to score a lot, but he rebounds and he hustles in the paint.
We're tied at 6, 3:25 to go in the first period. Gary Ball, Brian Milam here at the Boys State Championship here at Rupp Arena. Great crowd in here. We're thinking around close to a record here. Right side, they kick it, and there's a 15-foot jumper knocked down there by Perry, who just checked in. Jalen Perry, the sophomore.
Wide open at the elbow, and Ballard coming back strong after a couple of turnovers and shots that did not go in. Hawkins has had only one shot so far. They've really done a good job.
And on Perry, off glass, no, tapped up by Quan Taylor to himself. Taylor grabs it, left-hand hook, put it in. Well, that's a man move right there by Quan Taylor.
And his first basket against Hopkinsville yesterday along the baseline was a man move. He is a tough, hard-nosed individual, as most of these Central kids are. And Quan Taylor, he realizes this is his one shot right here.
Martin spinning on Taylor. High pass over to Perry. Back to Killian Martin, 15-footer bullseye. That young man, that's what the colleges like about him, Brian, is that great touch he has from the perimeter. Walker's got a good three-point shot, too. Quentin Snyder knows that. Comes out to give him a little pressure. 10-8, Ballard on top after a 5-0 start by Madison Central. Been a 10-3 run here. Hawkins puts up a tough shot off the board, and he thought he was fouled. No call. We're going to have the under 3-minute media timeout. 2:18 to go, and it's 10-8. Ballard on top of Madison Central. We'll return to Rupp Arena here with the 2013 Kentucky High School Athletic Association Boys State Championship game. And here's a reminder that next Sunday we will bring you the championship game of the girls KHSAA tournament from the campus of Western Kentucky University. It looks to be a great tournament. Marion County the favorite going into that. As you know, Brian Milam, and check your local listings for the time and station in your area. Should be a great Houchins KHSAA Girls Sweet 16 next week.
It's one of those moments when you say, do you take Marion County or do you take the field? It's like old Tiger Woods playing 12, 13 years ago in his prime. Marion County undefeated, looking to become the first undefeated champ since 1984, Marshall County.
4 of 8 for Ballard, 50%, just 30% there for the Indians of Madison. Steal by Quan Taylor, but throws it right to Keelan Martin. He powers down on Bosley, blocked away there by George. DeMarcus George came in and gave some authority there.
Taylor is a hustler, a battler, and a gamer, and George was underneath wide open. Bosley didn't see him.
Didn't see him. He was wide open. Walker faking, goes in on Perry. 15-footer off the iron, no. There's George with the stick back, won't roll in, but he's fouled by Ballard. A minute 40 to go in the first period. And Brian Milam, what is Madison Central doing here on the offensive glass? You know, they're getting some good opportunities here, but you look at Ballard, they're not getting a lot of second chance opportunities.
Well, for one, Ballard's hitting more shots. That's one reason why they're not getting, but Madison Central's just doing the basics. Block out. I mean, if you're facing a team that's bigger, stronger in the post, there's only one thing you can do, and that's go back to the fundamentals. And speaking with Brandon Fritz, one of the assistants for Madison Central last week, he said, this is the time of the year where you do have to go back and focus. Just a reminder, don't get caught up in the moment. This game is won or lost on the basics.
1-point ball game. He couldn't get the second one to go. DeMarcus George, the junior. It's 10-9 Ballard, minute 33 in the first quarter. Quentin Snyder, long three, rattles it in.
Ballard is shooting. All of a sudden, they're on fire. Madison Central has been off to slow starts in the last 2 ball games. They have not shot the ball well. Something tells me they cannot do that again today.
Kenja Bosley ran it out and comes right in the hands of Walker. Trying to go down low to Dominique. Hawkins on the floor, and we're going to have a jump ball, I believe, called, and the possession arrow favoring Ballard as bodies are flying everywhere. Great hustle there by Ballard and Dominique Hawkins, and they will give the ball to Ballard. That's the call. As you mentioned, Brian, they're starting to heat it up. Snyder knocking down that three after Madison Central cut it to 1. It's now 13-9. Snyder, junior.
Snyder, very good ball player, and he's very poised. That's one thing you could say about this Ballard team. They show a lot of maturity out there.
Another three, backs up, missed that one, tapped around, and they kick it over to Martin. He goes from 15, got it.
Martin's feeling it.
15-9, Ballard, their biggest lead of 6. What a run here by Ballard after Central jumped out 5-0. It's been a 15-4 run since then, Brian.
And you wait for Dominique to get his hands on the ball, but every time he does, he is surrounded with black jerseys.
Quan Taylor has it tapped away by Perry. And picked up there by Bird. Dantes Bird coming out of there with it for Ballard. Wants to run. Over to Martin. Baseline 18-footer. Got it again.
The lost start of the mid-range jumper. Timeout, Madison Central.
As Martin has hit a couple of baskets in a row with 23 seconds to put them up 17-9 for Ballard and Chris Renner. Madison Central yet to get on track. Dominic Hawkins, the slow start, Brian.
Well, Hawkins, the reason he's got a slow start, 0 of 3. He's not really been able to find any footing, any traction in the first quarter of the last couple of ball games. And Ballard, look at the shots. They're wide open. And Madison Central not getting back defensively. And it will be interesting to see how they do get back defensively. Look at Ballard when they come out of there. Look how tall the Bruins are. Ballard 7 of 13. Central, another slow start. The quarterfinals, semifinals for Central. 25%. 25%, 25.9%.
Goes to Walker. Over lob to Taylor. Fakes. He works in on Martin with the left hand. What a tough shot by Taylor.
Madison Central has had 2 baskets in the last 6 minutes. Quan Taylor's got them both.
On the floor, and off the knee it goes there of Holland. It will go to Central. Big shot by Quan Taylor to cut it to 17-11, but they only have 7/10 of a second here in the first quarter. And Kenja Bosley will just let the clock run out here for the quarter. And we head to the second quarter with Louisville Ballard on top of Madison Central. 17-11 behind. Quentin Snyder with 6 and Martin with 6. We'll return to Rupp Arena after this timeout to the boys state championship. You can catch the Scholastic Ball Report Saturdays at noon right here on the CW, KYT. High school athletes all over the central Kentucky area highlighting academics and, of course, highlights from all the games. Saturday noon, let's take a look now at the lineups. Right now, it's going to be Bosley, Dominic Hawkins, George is in there, Brian. You got Walker and Quan Taylor. That's your lineup. We'll check Ballard's lineup after this possession. And we're going to have a grab, it looks like, on the freshman Dow of Ballard. Away from the ball.
That's his second already.
So he quickly gets into some foul trouble here with 7:51 to go, and you're going to get back in there very quickly. Into the game will be Keelan Martin with those 6 points, so Martin didn't get much of a rest because Dow picked up his second very quickly for Ballard.
Well, you take out 6'3" and put in 6'6.5". Not too bad.
Not bad at all, and with the mid-range jumpers you talked about. Keelan Martin has he has as good a mid-range jumper for big guys I've seen in a while.
Yeah, soft, very soft.
Walker working out there on Levon Holland. Walker, a senior, also bounces over Dominique Hawkins. 17-11 Ballard. Hawkins on Bird, stops, and 15-footer rattles it in. Maybe that'll get Dominique going.
Dominique has not been able to get his hands on the basketball in a one-on-one setting. I have not seen in this tournament, nor throughout the early part of this season and the last part of the postseason, anyone in this state who can guard him one-on-one.
Coggins is checked in for Ballard. Zach in there now. They come out to Bird, and they work it to Dantes Bird. 17-13. Boy, that's a big shot, I think, there. Not only for Dominic Hawkins, but for the Madison Central basketball team, the psyche of the whole team.
Oh, yeah. Mentally, that is huge because Quan Taylor had the only 2 baskets over the last 4.5, 5 minutes.
Snyder to the basket. Blocked away there by who else? George. He came out of nowhere. Here comes Dominique. Kicks it over to Walker. Lines up the 3 and an out. And climbing the ladder and sticking it back up. No, there. It won't go for Dominique. And here comes Bird pushing it out to Holland. He bounces over to Quentin Snyder off glass. Good.
Nice transition basket by the Bruins. Central. One thing, if Hawkins goes into rebound, he takes himself out of getting back in defensive transition. And so the Bruins had a good 2-on-1.
As soon as Quentin Snyder saw that Hawkins was in there, wasn't going to get that rebound, and his team was, he took off. And that's the reason he had that easy layup, as Brian said. And Walker with it out top gives to Dominic Hawkins. 19-13. Slow starts by Central in their last 2 games. Ball knocked away by Holland. Slow start in their semifinal game with Hopkinsville. Almost cost them. Let's take a look at that transition there. Started by Bird, of course, and Holland.
Good passing. Only 1 man back, and that was Bosley, who did not contest the layup at all. Just give up the layup. Don't do anything stupid and get the foul. Good job by him, but good job by Ballard. They are keeping their head up and looking down court.
Kenja Bosley, great receiver on that football team. Goes to Quan Taylor on Keelan Martin. Taylor, and he traveled trying to work on Martin. Little imposing figure there at 6'6", 240 pounds. And Quan Taylor, very athletic, but I think he looked up and saw the number 3 was on him and shoveled a pivot foot.
Well, Taylor also was about 5 feet farther away from the basket, where he is not a great one-on-one guy in the paint going to his left. He's a little awkward.
Central, that's their 5th turnover. Ballard just 3. Bird has it way out top, being patient. 5:40 to go first half, 19-13. Ballard leading Madison Central. Quentin Snyder into the lane. Back out long 3 by Bird, off the mark. Rebounded by QT. Quan Taylor. He gives to D-Hawk, Dominic Hawkins. Hawkins lines up a 3. Back of the rim, no. Rebounded by Quentin Snyder. Leads it out to Holland. Holland running the floor. Missed the layup. Tapped up, no. There's Stocker battling. Picked up Holland again off glass. Good this time.
Second chance points. Second chance points for Ballard. They're crashing the boards.
They lead it by 8 now, 21-13. 5 minutes to go in the first half. How about that on the other end? Dominic Hawkins' shot was a little strong, and then he came back and they get the offensive board work we were talking about. Holland with the finish. Here's Bosley reverse, rattles out of there, went halfway down.
There is something about this rim that Madison Central does not like in the first half, because they just cannot put it in the ocean at all on this rim in first half of games.
Holland's 3 won't go. Rebounded by Kenja Bosley. Bosley now picking up the pace a little bit. Taylor wide open. He didn't see him. Now he bounces it to him after he was wide open for about 3 seconds. Quan Taylor working there. With the reverse left hand, he missed it. Tapped around and stuck back up and in by Dominic Hawkins.
Right man, right spot.
Right time. 21-15. Lead of 6 for Ballard.
Taylor struggles going to his left. That's why he reversed it back right. Good
Snyder
move.
blocked away there by QT. Dominic taps it out, but picked back up by Coggins. He goes to Martin with a 15-footer. Good. That young man is unbelievable. Keelan Martin with 8 points already.
Look at the poise that Martin has in his face. The next time we get a shot of him, I mean, he is just as cool.
Both teams look a little gassed right now to me, Brian. 23-15. Slumped over. Look at Quan Taylor.
Well, Taylor's having to battle with Martin, and that is a load to push on.
They lob it to him. Out top, Stocker will line up the three, in and out. And Walker there battling, and we're going to have a foul called, and looks like it's going to go against Ballard.
It's on Bird. That's his second. They gave him the second foul earlier that took it off.
3:32 to go.
So a second foul. And Perry and Bird have been the two guys to be on Hawkins. Hawkins is 1 of 7. Check that, 2 of 7 from the floor. Central shooting just 27%. Ballard at 45.5.
Corey Douglas just checked back in. They're going with Martin Douglas. You got Brandon Berry in there, the sophomore, and Quentin Snyder and Levon Holland. Free throw good there for Dominic Hawkins. 5 points for Dominic. Remember, he only had 7 points in the quarterfinal game for Madison Central against Holmes. Came back with 30. Only had 7 in the semifinal game against Hopkinsville. Came back with 30. So he's been only a slow starting first half. Has 5 points now as he misses that second free throw.
I guess it's not how you start, but how you finish. And he has certainly been the
tortoise or the hare.
He has been the relief man coming out of the bullpen.
Thank you. Left side of Holland baseline and put up the shot, draws the foul there on Daniel Park. That wasn't a very popular call with the Richmond fans from Madison Central.
During the introductions, Ballard was introduced, and the PA band says Ballard Bruins, and you had a nice ovation when they mentioned Madison Central. This place erupted. Certainly the hometown favorite, only 25 miles or so down the road. They are loaded in here in red and blue.
Hollins, no good on the free throw, has 5 points. Hit a 3 earlier. And then, of course, on that second, on that rebound, when he missed the layup, he, as you said, stayed with it and knocked it down off the glass on the offensive board work. Holland, a senior. Second one, in and out, rebounded by Quan Taylor. Dominic calling for help, gives it to Park. Park now works it across the line, picks up the pace. Park cut off, hands it to Stocker. Well, they're leaving Stocker open, aren't they, Brian? They're giving number 30 the shot. He's got to start. He hit a 3 early, but here's Hawkins into the paint. Kicks it over to Stocker. That's what I'm talking about. He powers it up. No. Tapped up Taylor. No. There's Dominic Hawkins with a stick back. Yes.
Dominic, one of the only point guards in this tournament or the state that will get in and mix it up with the big guys in terms of rebounding because he has an incredible vertical.
Snyder knocks down a 15-footer. Quentin Snyder showing his full repertoire. He's got 10 already.
Showing why Rick Pitino likes him so much.
Already committed there. A strong Mr. Basketball candidate next year, wouldn't you say? We might be looking at our next 2 Mr. Basketballs here. Here's a travel by Walker. Dominic Hawkins, they say, is a front runner for this year. And Quentin Snyder, they say, is a front runner for next year. 2:23 to go in the first half. It's Louisville Ballard 25, Madison Central 18. When we return to Rupp Arena after this timeout. And Brian Milam mentioned it back in '81. The Simon Kenton Mason County game was a record crowd. As you take a look there, we're going to be approaching that. I would say we'll be approaching 18,000, 19,000. Wouldn't you, Brian? I mean, there's some empty seats up at the top off to our left here, up in the very top of the second row. But I'd say we'll be approaching 17,000, 18,000.
Well, it's a heck of a crowd, and I was explaining to someone earlier today what the KHSAA Sweet 16 means. This is the showcase across the nation, not just the state. You don't get this many people for a single game.
Central's got to shoot better, only 28%.
Well, that's the norm. 25% in the quarterfinals, 25% in the semifinals.
Battling was DeMarcus George with Douglas of Ballard, and George knocked that one out and will go back to the Bruins.
Well,
Ballard Bruins.
Hawkins has all 7 for Madison Central going back to that. But watch Ballard's defense on him the next time Ballard scores. They will double team immediately.
Keelan Martin, who has 8 points. Martin working on Quan Taylor. Head and shoulder break cut off. Gives it to Snyder, who has 10 points. Those two have combined for 18 points of the 25 of the Ballard Bruins. Quentin Snyder gets a pick, launches a three off the mark, and Snyder gets his own miss, kicks it down low, off glass, rattled in there by Ballard's Berry.
A second chance points again. The largest lead for Ballard, it's at 9, and now they start to pick up full court.
And you know what I liked about that? Snyder looked immediately inside the basket and found Berry wide open. That's a great pass there by Quentin Snyder. That's something else you like about him. You don't notice what a great passer he is till you see a pass like that. Bosley 10-footer, no. Boy, I tell you, Madison Central, ice cold.
One thing, if I'm nice look again from Snyder.
And the finish there by Holland.
Now, one thing Madison Central has to do. Now, watch as Hawkins approaches midcourt. Let's see if the double team comes. And here it comes. They're making him pass the basketball and not giving it back to him.
Pass goes to George, 15-footer, off the mark, no good. George Ballingford gets it back to Park. Down low they go, Quan Taylor, and he's going to dunk it home.
Big basket for Quan and for the Central Indians. The second half adjustment, we'll get to that, what Central's going to have to do. Dominique Hawkins has to touch the ball every time the Indians have it.
And Ballard's making sure that he gets rid of the ball, as you said, by double teaming him in backcourt to make him pass the ball. 39 seconds, 29-20, Ballard by 9. Big dunk there by Quan Taylor might ignite Central. They have been struggling in the first half of this state tournament. They've been a second half team, and you know Ballard knows that. Snyder into the lane, Quentin shovels it down low, and Douglas puts it up and in.
Snyder is doing everything right now. He's the best player on the court in terms of what he's doing for his team. He's penetrating, he's scoring, he's rebounding. 11-point lead is the difference because of what he's been able to do with the basketball.
Park, wide open it goes. Quan Taylor hesitating, throws it up and in. They'll count the basket. He will get the soup and the sandwich.
Taylor has scored more points now than he has the last couple of ball games. Watch inside, good look, head fake, strong enough to put the ball in the basket, and then the scream into the camera.
That's right. 8 points for QT. 5 rebounds. That was against Hopkins. He's got 8 points here already.
Now the good news is Quan Taylor has 8 points and he's leading Madison Central. The bad news is he's leading Madison Central in scoring.
Yes. Snyder launches from 30 and banks it in. Quentin Snyder banks in a 3 from just beyond 35 feet, and that puts Ballard up. That is a big shot there by Snyder. 34-22. They got a 12-point lead now on the bank in by Quentin Snyder. He threw it up and banked it in. We'll return to halftime at the 2013 Boys State Championship.
It's the KHSAA Boys State Basketball Tournament. Today's championship game is brought to you by the University of Kentucky. To experience life at UK, visit cblue.com.
Back at Rupp Arena here in Lexington, the state championship. It's been all Ballard. Brian Milam, I tell you what, the superstars that we talked about in the pregame, Keelan Martin and Quentin Snyder, have been as good as advertised, if not better. Martin's knocking down mid-range jumpers. Snyder's banking them in from half court at the buzzer. So pretty much they have said, yeah, we're here to play. We want to win a state title. Madison Central better wake up.
Yeah, Madison Central has done this, and I hate to keep repeating it, but it just keeps, that's the way it's been. 25%. 25% in the last 2 games. This team shooting 27% in the championship. They're down 12. We said in the pregame they cannot get behind to this Ballard team. Well, they're down 12, and Snyder is doing everything positive for his ball club.
He really is, and we'll come back with more here at halftime of the 2013 KCAA Boys State Championship between Ballard and Madison Central, with Ballard up by 12 here at halftime. And welcome back to Rupp Arena at halftime of the state championship game. We're joined by the commissioner, Julian Tackett of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. Been a great Boys Sweet 16. New format has been very successful.
Gary, it really has. We've been blessed with the fans have really showed up well this week. They've showed up strong. Weather's cooperated. We're excited about the way things have turned out.
you know, the crowd's been great. You broke a record last night with the semifinal crowd.
We did. We had over 20,000 in here last night, and the atmosphere was quite a bit different than the normal semifinals.
And equal to that, you've had some great high school basketball games.
The competitive nature of the games this year has been a great change from maybe the last couple of years. And I was told that all year long by the coaches it would be that way, and it really has turned out to be very competitive.
And this championship game, Madison Central and Ballard, a lot of storied tradition there. Madison Central, of course, looking for their first state title.
They are, and they're coming out. Both of these are coming out of two historically tough regions, and when you can get out of those regions, you can usually play. This is going to be a good one right down to the wire.
Madison Central going up against a very talented Ballard team, and we'll be back with more here at halftime of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Boys Sweet 16 State Championship.
It's the KHSAA Boys State Basketball Tournament. Today's championship game is brought to you by the University of Kentucky. To experience life at UK, visit cblue.com.
Welcome back to Rupp Arena, the Boys Sweet 16 State Championship game between Madison Central, Louisville Ballard. We're joined by Boyd Randolph. He is president of the Board of Control. And Boyd, first off, thanks for everything you do for the high school kids in the state of Kentucky.
Well, it's an honor, Gary. Thank you for recognizing that, and the folks in the High School Athletic Association and the board are very honored to do what we do.
And you do a great job putting on these state events. Everybody talks about what a great Sweet 16, and you know what? It's not hype, Boyd. It's legit.
This has been a great year for us. We had the opportunity with some scheduling opportunities to get not only our championship game in prime time, but also our Saturday games. We were able to do our semifinals in a prime time venue as well.
It's been some great basketball. I know, President, as the Board of Control, you love your basketball, and it's been some tremendous games here in the Sweet 16. It's lived up to its billing.
It certainly has. We've had a great opportunity to see programs representing our state from one end to the other, and some really nice kids and some good hard work by a lot of grown-ups that support them.
Boyd, any big changes coming with any rules or regs or anything like that we need to know about with the KHSAA?
There are a couple things that are in the legislature right now, and maybe possibly some venue items. But stay tuned and let's wait and see what the legislature does in this short session.
That's right. We never know what the legislature do, but stay tuned, right? Well, keep up the great work, Boyd. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Gary.
Boyd Randolph, president of the Board of Control. We'll come back with more at halftime here from the state championship of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Boys Sweet 16. Welcome back to Rupp Arena, halftime. Quentin Snyder's bank-in three there at the first half buzzer put him up by 12 points, and it looked like Central might battle back. And Brian Milan, take a look at those first half numbers. Ballard shooting 52%. Madison Central very cold, 31%. Three-point shooting, 3 of 7. Being out-rebounded and points off turnover, that's a big difference in the game as well.
Well, Quan Taylor has as many baskets as Kenja Bosley and Dominique Hawkins. Hawkins and Bosley 4 of 14. And Ballard is forcing Hawkins to give up the basketball.
The last 3 games they've played, Dominique Hawkins has had 7 points at halftime.
He's a second-half guy, though.
He's been a second-half guy. We'll return, see what he can do here in the second half with Ballard up by a dozen, 34-22. We'll return to Rupp Arena with the second half after this. Back at Rupp Arena, historic Rupp Arena, downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Gary Ball, Brian Milam. Does Madison Central, Brian, have a second half run in them here like they did against Covington Holmes and like they did against that great Hoptown team in the semis last night? We'll find out.
It would be the third time in 3 games. And Ballard, the second half adjustments for Central, find Hawkins, get him the ball. Find a way to get him one-on-one. If you're Ballard, you keep doing what you're doing.
And Dominic Hawkins on Quentin Snyder now. Quentin Snyder comes over to Keelan Martin. Martin, as Stocker falls down, they give it over now to the little guard, Dantes Bird. Snyder crossing over on Hawkins, bouncing out. Good backside defense, picked up by Hawkins. Great play by Taylor.
Taylor is a hustler. We can only say it so many times. Now, how do you force points out of the turnover?
Park drives to the basket. Good job putting that shot up, drawing the foul. We're going to look at this half shot right at beyond half court by Snyder. There you see. Look at that, right before halftime. Banked it home.
That's a heave, yes, because he had a man in his face. And that is just another point to the first half as to why Ballard, everything going their way.
Free throw won't go for Park.
And Madison Central made a living at the free throw line the last couple of ball games. They are 3 of 8 from the free throw line. And Daniel Park, who's such a good shooter from three-point line, he has struggled at the line in this tournament a little bit in some pressure spots. And right now, every free throw for the Indians is a pressure free throw.
Bird out with those 3 fouls. Free throw knocked down by Park. First point of the ball game. Daniel, the son of Dave Park, the Eastern Kentucky University 11th region manager. He does a great job running that 11th region tournament.
He owns McBrayer Arena.
Yeah, Snyder's 3 in and out. Battle for it. And that is Dow, and a jump ball called. I thought he traveled, to be honest with you, Brian, but they called a jump ball before he traveled.
Well, Chris Renner thought he got held. Honestly, I thought he went over the back first and then got held and then walked. So maybe you could get all 3. No, it was a good no call. He did not go over the back.
You know, it was rejected into the first row irregardless by Quan Taylor. The shot was. After all that.
Now Ballard one-on-one with Hawkins. This is dangerous for the Bruins.
Hawkins stops from 15. Off the iron, no. Tapped up QT, no, by Taylor. Lead out goes now to Holland. With Park back, Holland runs over top of him, no. Batted around. Keelan Martin there battling with Stocker. Jump ball call. Possession arrow this time. We'll give it to the Ballard Bruins, who are up by 11 with 6:38 to go in the third quarter.
Hawkins got a good look on that shot. He's been a little strong with the last 4 shots he's taken from the outside. They've gone off the back iron or they've rattled in and out.
Both coaches very relaxed. As we said, that was a kinder, gentler Coach Feldhouse we saw prior to that shot of Coach Renner. Here's a ball knocked away there by Taylor. And you got to watch it with Quan Taylor because his shoulder has a tendency to pop out. We saw it at the regional tournament, and when it does, he basically has to go to the bench and have the trainer pop it back in. It happens from time and time again. Here come the trainers. They've been there, done that before, Brian.
Yeah, this might be one of those moments you don't want to see on TV if they have to pop a man's shoulder.
Turn away.
Back in.
As they say, the news cameras, when it's something graphic, you might want to turn away on this or at least not look at this, because Quan Taylor has been prone to have that shoulder pop out.
And that is, when you think about, if you have a situation, a physical ailment like that, where if you do have a shoulder that pops in or pops in and out, or a finger, I mean, that you have to play as if it's not going to happen.
Right.
But in the back of your mind, now let's see how aggressive Taylor will be the rest of the game. It's just those small things that can affect a team. And now look how much smaller Madison Central is on the court.
As they bring George Walker in, I thought they might come with DeMarcus George. Snyder, a little teardrop, rolls out, tapped around, picked up by Dow, goes to Martin, goes baseline, runs over Walker, and let's see what the call is. They're going to call a foul on Walker.
Let's see now that Taylor is on the bench at the 6:26 mark. Ballard leads in rebounds 21-20. For as long as Taylor is out, let's see how many rebounds Ballard gets, either at second chance points or just cleaning up the defensive rebounds.
Martin, who had 8 first half points, knocks down the free throw. He's got 9 points now, averages 19 and 10, 6'6", 230-pound junior. Remember, he'll not only be back, you got Quentin Snyder back for Ballard, both juniors. And Dow is a freshman. You think they'll be pretty good next year?
Yeah, I think you'll see them #1.
And he turns. Martin missed that time, and Dominic Hawkins will track it down. He is triple team, now double team. Tries to throw it off, but picked up by Snyder, and he will lay it up and in and draw the foul.
And not that Madison Central wasn't in trouble before. Now they are in a danger point. And here comes Quan Taylor back in. Great job. Very good job by Ballard to double team and not move. And then Hawkins gets the nickel dimer, and Snyder can make this a 15-point game.
Yeah, the largest lead they've enjoyed. He tried to throw that off the leg of Martin, but unfortunately it bounced right in the hands of Quentin Snyder. He said, "Oh, thank you very much. I'll lay it in." And he did. And he knocks down the free throw. Good free throw shooter, by the way, 77%. At 16 for Snyder. The lead is 15 for Ballard, 38-23. 6:15 to go third.
Taylor favoring his shoulder. He could not even inbound the basketball.
Dominic Hawkins with Levon Holland on him. That's a good matchup, Brian. Holland, another great defender. Over to Park. Out top, Walker. Walker on Martin. George. He will give it up to Kenja Bosley. In the lane, throws it up, no, and pulled out of there. Ballard's got it. Dow. Central really struggling here. Long pass, and cannot be handled by Perry, out of bounds.
Madison Central looks a little shell-shocked.
Just
on
no
offense.
ebb and flow. No flow to them at all.
And they have not had a lot of flow in the first half since the Wayne County game.
Pass off the hands of Perry there, and he thought he was pushed by Park. 5:38 here in the third. Ballard up by their largest margin of 15, and Central's got their backs against the wall. Walker, left side, he works in, throws it up.
They're out of control.
Pass,
yeah, Madison Central is so out of whack on offense. The other guys, other than Hawkins, they're out of control, all of them. Bosley has gone to the basket, out of control. Walker is doing it, and they are certainly out of whack. And if I'm Ballard, you don't have to, you can either put the nail in the coffin right here, or you could just kind of run the offense.
Dow, Quentin Snyder, a long three, in and out, but rebounded by Perry, and he is going to be fouled by Quan Taylor.
Look at the body language of Central and Ballard. Ballard is upbeat, and Madison Central's looking around, and they're waiting for the awakening. It's happened the last two nights. Even Alan Feldhaus is shaking his head across the way because his ball club is in serious trouble right here.
Perry with 2 points and a rebound and assist. Sophomore, free throw won't go, and it's 38-23 if you're just tuning in. It's been all Ballard and Brian Milam really since it was 29-22, and Quentin Snyder banked in that three there right at the end of the first half. You know, it's kind of been domination by Ballard, to be quite frank about it. Perry got the second free throw to go, and the lead is 16 now for the Ballard Bruins out of Louisville.
Ballard is playing it straight up defensively. Then they come for the double team again. That's got to leave somebody open if Central can get a quick shot close to the basket.
Quan Taylor works in on the freshman. Taylor and hooks it, rolls it in there. Good shot by Taylor.
Big basket by Quan. Now Central needs a run. They cannot trade baskets with Ballard.
That's exactly right. Quentin Snyder with 16 points. Averages just under 20. Out to Martin. Martin in on Taylor. Spin move. Shot rolls in there. That's a big time move there by Keelan Martin.
Smooth. Real smooth.
He has 11 now. Bosley. Left side deep. Skips it out to Park. Park not looking for a shot, is he?
Well, it's kind of hard when you're outmanned by about 5 inches on defense and you have a hand in your face.
Taylor.
Got to hit that.
Walker's three. Back of the rim, no. Long rebound, gets it. Works into the paint. Dumps it down low. Dominique, and he lays it up and in. It's 9 points for Dominique Hawkins. Good dump in there by Walker. 41-27. And here's a steal by Hawkins. Goes in, hangs, throws it up, draws the foul there on Ballard's Keelan Martin.
One way for the Indians to get back into the game is do exactly that. They have got to get to the free throw line with the clock stopped. You right now down 14. You've got to worry about, you can't shoot it a lick right now. 31%. You've got to get to the line where you've made a living in this tournament. And Hawkins has been nearly flawless, 17 of 20 yesterday.
And he rattles that one in for his 10th point to go with those 7 rebounds you just saw. And I'm not sure why Central hasn't done more of that full court pressure. You saw the steal there by Dominic Hawkins on the pass by Keelan Martin, and they haven't done a whole lot of that really.
Well, they haven't been able to because they haven't been able to score that much. And usually the press starts on a made basket, and now
that lead has been cut to a dozen, 41-29, which is what it was at halftime. 3:50 to go in the third. Quentin Snyder on Hawkins. Stops, backs up, won't go, and there's a stick back. Douglas, no, and we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have a foul called, and it's going to go against Central.
That's a good call. Alan Feldhaus doesn't like it, but that is a good call. Daniel Park put 2 hands on his guy and pushed him out of the way, allowing Central to get the basketball. Coach Feldhaus didn't have the angle, but it doesn't take a lot to get someone when they're going into the air, push them out of the way.
That's 2 on Park now. Holland into the lane. Ball tipped away. Works on Bosley. Puts it up short. Knocked away. There's Martin faking with it. He powers it up. No one draws the foul. Keelan Martin. And Brian, there's a lot of colleges are going to be requiring this man services next year. He's only a junior. He is a man-child.
And he's got such a soft touch. Very soft touch.
Free throw rolls off. We see a little bit of a change here in momentum in Central's favor. It started with the steal by Hawkins and the 2 free throws. You're starting to see Ballard coming back to reality just a little bit, aren't you? As they miss both free throws, Aaron. Boy, it would be huge here for
the door's
Central.
open.
Yeah, the door's open. If they could knock down a 3 here, Brian, we'd have a single-digit ball game.
Yeah, and then we'll start with the man with the basketball. What he can create.
Out to Park with Quentin Snyder on him. Goes to Quan Taylor. Working on Martin. Backing in. Taylor double team to Walker. Back to Kenja Bosley. Bosley into the lane. Got a lane. Lays it up and in. That's a good start there. And the lead is 10. 41-31 Ballard under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter at Rupp Arena.
It was 46-34 Hoptown when Madison Central made their move yesterday. The crowd got in it. The crowd is back in it all of a sudden. And it started on a Kenja Bosley layup.
Yep, and that one was a layup by Kenja Bosley. 2:40 to go in the third. 41-31. Snyder in on Dominic Hawkins, spinning, hook shot. Back of the rim and drops in for him.
The kid's pure.
18.
One-on-one.
That's 18 for him. Here's Bosley the other way. Streaking. Double team. Out Dominic Hawkins. Lines up a 3. Back of the rim, no. Rebounded by Holland. Long rebound by Holland out there. Holland on Bosley to the basket, and we're going to have a traveling call against Ballard, and Coach Renner is beside himself.
He wanted a foul, didn't get it.
2:16 to go in the third. It is Ballard 43, Madison Central 31 here at the boys state championship at Rupp Arena. Will return after this. Scholastic Ball Report every Saturday noon on CW Lexington. Inside Channel 5, Scholar Athletes, highlights from all the games, Friday Night Flights with Brian Milam, Lee K. Howard. Also Teams of the Week, Car Smart Drive of the Week. It's all Saturdays at noon. Our 10th year, celebrate our 300th episode, as you know, Brian, back in November.
It's a long time, man.
Yes, sir.
You have more shows than some coaches have wins. You always win on that show, right?
Thank you. We do. And Park to the basket, and boy, I tell you, that's the most aggressive Brian Milam we've seen Daniel Park in this ball game, and he lays it up and in to cut it to 10. Ballard 43, Central 33. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gary Ball, Brian Milam, and the entire crew here at the boys state championship. Keelan Martin, he's pretty good. Out to Perry. To Quentin Snyder. He's very good.
That was Park's first basket of the game. The last 2 for Central. They've been driving layups. They've got to find an alley and take advantage of it.
Snyder lob down to Martin, handles it there, and then powers it up over Dominic and gets it to go.
That's just being 6'6", guarded by a 6'1" guy, where Hawkins could not use any leaping ability. It was all muscle putting that one in.
Dominic takes it. He's going to go full court against Dantes Bird of Louisville Ballard. Minute 19, 45-33. Every time Central gets it down to about 10, it seems like Ballard has an answer by either Snyder, Martin, and company. Those two have been superb. Here's Quan Taylor, throws it up and draws the foul there as Corey Douglas and Keelan Martin were there. And this one, I believe, is going to go against, if it goes against Martin, it'll be his second. That's what they called him on Brian. Keelan Martin, the 6'6" junior. And that's the team's third foul against Ballard.
Well, Ballard continues with this very good defensive strategy, and you kind of wonder why other teams have not done it. And that is make Dominic pass it and not get it back. Now, they did that with Richie Farmer a long time ago. PRP in 1988. PRP did it to Farmer. He held him to 18 points. Right now, Hawkins has 11. Scotty Davenport and those guys tried to double and triple team Richie in the 88 championship, and he only had 51.
Right. Only.
But Hawkins is not getting the ball back, and that is the difference of the game. They've got to find him after a pass, get the ball back to him at some point.
With it is Holland, backs up, works on Bosley, lets it fly, no. And there's Quan Taylor battling with Keelan Martin. He throws it right to Kenja Bosley. 3-on-2. Bosley down the lane, throws it high off the glass. Won't go. Would have counted had he banked it in there, but he'll go to the line, shoot a couple of free throws. And Brian Milam, here you are, 44 seconds in the third. And Kenja Bosley can step up there and get it down to single digits for Madison Central.
Chris Renner, he just went down on his backside. You said, why, guys? Why? This is the strategy Central has to have. Slow the game down. Catch your breath and put the ball in the hole one free throw at a time. It's down to 9. It was just, what, 15, 16 just about 2 minutes ago.
16 points, and that's what people say about Ballard. Said their tendency to lull and have lulls in games. Could this be the run that Central needs here with Ballard in a little bit of a lull here?
Chris Renner said his team is Jekyll and Hyde. They were Dr. Hyde, or they were Hyde in the first half. Now they've reverted to the Jekyll. It's in the first round game, it was Jekyll, then Hyde. Now it's Hyde, the Jekyll. You don't know who you're getting. And for Central, the crowd has got to get behind them because it is a partisan crowd.
Working in on Taylor. Martin fades away and won't go, but rebound by Perry. Shovels it down low. Stuck by Corey Douglas. No. And then a rebound by Quan Taylor. Taylor needs some help. Kicks it to Dominique Hawkins. Hawkins drives down, puts it up and in. They're going to count the basket. He's fouled.
Here we go. The crowd is alive, and so's Dominique Hawkins by taking it to the basket. Chris Renner wants an offensive foul. If we can get a replay, you'll see why it's not. Watch Hawkins. He goes to the side, and you can see the man move just a little. Just a little. And it's a block. Instead, it's a... Oh, look at this.
Taylor with the stick back. No. Hawkins, yes. We've got a 45-41 ball game. Here's Snyder launching a deep one, and he is fouled by Dominique Hawkins with 6:10 to go in the third quarter. Snyder, a good free throw shooter, will shoot 3 after Central had cut it to 4.
And the only reason Alan Feldhaus went nuts on the sideline and the rest of the Central crowd is because Dominique Hawkins showed emotion.
Here's Snyder at the line, a good free throw shooter, and he knocks it down. Let's take a look at that replay there on the other end, Brian.
A 4-point play. Taylor gets the rebound, then Hawkins comes in. But the 3 free throws here. Snyder hits the first. This is a complete 180 for Madison Central. And Feldhaus is still hot because Dominique Hawkins, when he dunks on somebody, he doesn't show emotion. When he fouls someone, he doesn't show emotion. Dominique Hawkins ignited about 15,000 people in here by throwing his arms up.
This is Hawkins, throws it up 3-quarter, almost the full court, won't go. It's Ballard 47, Madison Central 41. We'll have a great fourth quarter. Coach Feldhaus working the officials here. We'll return to Rupp Arena. Great comeback for Madison Central. Ballard still leads 47-41. And here's a reminder that next Sunday we will bring you the championship game of the girls KCAA Sweet 16 basketball from Western Kentucky University. Lee Wise Pruitt will join me for that one. Check your local listings for the time and station area. That's the girls state championship next Sunday. And let's give an attendance here of the 2013 boys Sweet 16. I think we have a number there. There we go. Not quite the record.
17,315. The record is 19,776, but it is the largest crowd in 5 years. One reason, Madison Central just 25 minutes down the road.
47-41. Ballard led by 16. It's been cut down to 6. And I tell you what, Quentin Snyder has been a big story. Here's Hawkins to the basket, won't go. Gets his own miss, goes baseline, kicks it to Quan Taylor. Over to Kenja Bosley. He lets a 3 go, knocks it down. Bosley.
That is a clutch shot from a guy who was only 2 of 8, 1 of 7 prior to that.
47-44, the closest Central's been in a long, long time. Spinning Martin, cut off, throws it up and knocks it down. Martin now with 15.
And now Martin shows some emotion. He muscles that in between 2 Indians, and he had something to say maybe to Taylor. Or to Hawkins.
Only one close in this tournament, Brian Milam, to Martin's muscle is Davion Green.
Oh, that guy's a man-child.
From John Harden. Here's his shot.
Davion Green was not born. He was grown.
Oh, my goodness.
He was watered and fertilized. He was grown.
He looked like, seriously, Davion Green looks like he could take on Mike Tyson. I'm serious when I say that.
He is the most imposing physical specimen I can remember at a state tournament in a while.
At the line will be Bosley. He just knocked down a big trifecta, and he's going to try to knock down a couple of free throws, and he knocks that one down. Bosley, a good free throw shooter, 77%. 49-45. Did you expect anything else in the state championship that it might not come down to the wire?
No, you had to know that with the way Madison Central has played in the third and fourth quarters and in overtime of their games, it was going to be close.
One possession game, under 7 minutes. Snyder with 20 points. He banked in the three, and he goes left, throws it up. No. Battle for it. Taylor stuck back up. Martin, no. Ball's on the floor. Walker diving there for it, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow. We'll give it back to the Ballard Bruins. Great hustle there by George Walker. And really the Ballard Bruins, Keelan Martin. Good sportsmanship there by Dow as well, the freshman, patting Walker there for his effort. You love to see that.
So many opportunities for Ballard around the basket. And Madison Central, other than Taylor and Hawkins, they really don't have a lot of guys who want to get their hands dirty with a rebound. Walker and Parker, guys stay on the perimeter. Bosley, not too often.
Snyder, a deep three. Quinton's shot won't go. There's Walker battling. Stuck back by Dow, no. And rebounded by Walker. Walker coming out of there with it. Now kicks it over to Daniel Park. Park looking for Kenja Bosley. You got Bird back in there defensively and Hawkins with those 3 fouls. One possession game. Central can tie with a three. 6:12 to play here in the state championship in front of over 17,000. Nice move, QT. Taylor with the left hand. What a move by Taylor.
Great play not to give up the pivot foot. That is a move you see in the backyard when you play your father who's 20, 30 years older. You have to find a way to score.
You have to find a way, don't you? Holland, he'll try to find a way for Ballard. 49-48. Down the lane, and we're going to have a reaching foul called against Madison Central with 5:44. We got to go back to that old man shot, Brian Milam.
Yeah, the guys in the truck said, here's the old man shot. 1, 2, 3. 3 moves, and he never leaves the pivot. Great job.
That was sweet.
Outstanding by Quan Taylor. It's as close as it's been.
And he can use the left.
He could use the left because I wonder if the right shoulder doesn't seem to bother him on rebounding.
Yeah.
But he is a right-handed player who goes to his left a lot.
At the line is Levon Holland, a senior. 14 points on the season. Holland's free throw, in and out, rebounded by Quan Taylor. Bad shoulder or not, he came up with a big rebound there. And how about this? Talk about full circle, Brian Milam. You're down 16. You can take the lead on this trip with 5.5 to play.
It's the same script with the same guy, the same team.
Yes. Kenja Bosley, he has a big three here in this run. Taylor's been sensational. Bosley out of the left side, it'll give him the lead. It does.
And then you have to get, I just got chills. The place is going crazy.
51,
Madison Central.
49 on the Kenja Bosley three. Look at Quan Taylor. Look at Taylor. Look at the whole Madison Central bench. They are fired up as their sharpshooter Bosley, and when I say sharpshooter, when he's on the run, as you know, Brian Milam, he's one of the best in the state.
You have to have no memory of the poor shots that you've taken or the shots that have not gone in. A shooter shoots, and Bosley hits the screen wide open. And it's the first time since it was 5-3 that Madison Central has the lead.
And did you notice, I don't know if in the truck they can give us a shot at that again, but did you notice what Kenja did with that right foot? He kind of turned it to make sure, I want to be behind this line. And he kept that foot behind the line and knocked it down. A big three there for Madison Central. And they are leading. And we're going to take a look at that again. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Watch this, Brian Milam. Watch the foot, the right foot here, as Bosley gets the ball. Look at that. Look how he turns that right foot, saying, hey, I'm going to keep this bad boy behind that line. That is court awareness right there.
Bosley and Hawkins were 4 of 14 at halftime. They are now, for the game, 10 of 24. So they've turned this thing around themselves. Taylor has done it. It's the big three that has done it for the Indians.
Coach Renner thinking, how in the world did we give up a 16-point lead?
Well, you've given it up to the best player in the state of Kentucky.
Well, two of the best players in the state of Kentucky, and possibly three with Quan Taylor when you talk about Bosley and Quan Taylor.
But Taylor is such an animal on the boards. It's an 18-3 run.
That young man right there, too, no fear, because remember, he was one of the top receivers in the state on that football team, had over 1,000 yards receiving for Central and Coach Burt Brown. And I talked to Burt Brown today, and I'll tell you what he told me after this play here about Ballard, about Dominic Hawkins, the football coach at Madison Central.
In 3:43, it's an 18-3 run.
Snyder into the lane, off glass, blocked away there by Taylor. Park, and the ball's knocked away from him, a steal. They give it right side, and a dunk and a tie. Careless with the ball there was Madison Central after the huge block by Taylor.
This is where Park and Walker constantly look for Hawkins and Bosley to take over the basketball. Everybody is turning to the hero for Hawkins to handle it, for Bosley to handle it. Walker and Park don't want any part of it.
Taylor is going to be fouled, and if Martin gets him, Dow was there. And Dow's acting like it's against him, Brian.
Well, Dow.
They did call it on Dow.
Yeah, Dow had a heck of a game yesterday. 12 points in the first 4 minutes of the game.
That's 3 on Dow.
But he's not scratched the scoring column yet.
Back to what Burt Brown told me about Dominic Hawkins. He coached him in football. He said, I tell you right now, Dominic Hawkins could play defensive back in the National Football League on Sundays.
Well, Burt Brown is a huge fan of his for football.
Knocked down there by Taylor. Let's take a look at that again. Look at this block by QT.
And now you get the block and then the steal. Park cannot handle it. And then the jam at the other end. And Martin is just playing a whale of a game. Taylor hits them both.
53-51 Central, 4:26 to play in regulation. Could we have an overtime here at the state championship, boys? Hey, you never know.
If we do, Ballard has never won an overtime game at the state tournament.
Down the lane, Holland puts it in, he's fouled. It will count for Levon Holland.
That is clutch. That is clutch because Holland had been somewhat quiet since the opening 10 minutes.
But he's a lefty. And he went in on Bosley there and used that left hand effectively, banked it home, and we're tied again. But Ballard Bruins can regain the lead there with the senior Levon Holland at the line. As we said, use that left hand effectively, knocks down the free throw.
Big play by Holland. 1 point lead for the Bruins.
I guess we'd say he's ambidextrous.
Or as Yogi Berra would say, he's he's aquatic.
Exactly. He's whatever he wants to be. He's adaptable. 54-53. Here's Kenjo Bosley working on Holland. Bosley looking for Dominic Hawkins with Bird on him. 3:56 to go in regulation. Ballard by 1. Bosley into the lane. Dumps it back down to Taylor. And falling down, Bird's going to grab Dominic Hawkins.
That's 4.
Yep. That's 4 on him. That's also the 8th team foul, so Dominic will shoot 1+1. And Brian Milam already referenced the great free throw shooting that Dominic's had in this tournament, coming off a 17 of 20 performance at the line in their semifinal win over Hoptown.
He was 17 of 23 of 5 today. This one for the tie.
15 and 10, make it 16 and 10, and we're tied at 54. Check with our crack stat crew down there how many ties we've had in this game. Is that our third?
That's number
ties.
6.
We'll
We've had a
that.
couple over the last several minutes now. 16 points, 10 rebounds for Dominic Hawkins.
We're tied at 54.
Staying tied.
3:45 to play. State championship on the line between the Ballard Bruins out of Louisville and the Madison Central Indians out of Richmond, Kentucky, seeking their first ever boys state championship.
Timeout, Ballard.
Timeout called. They were going to get the under 3 media timeout, but they go ahead and call a 30-second timeout. 54 all. It was a 16-point lead. Madison Central had a foot in the grave, and they had another one on the way, and it looked like the pulse was barely going. And all of a sudden, Quan Taylor, I think, really, I know you talk about Bosley's big three, you talk about Dominic Hawkins, but Quan Taylor, I think, has set the tone, particularly with blocking shots.
Oh, no doubt. He's the player of the game right now. 16 points, 11 rebounds. He's got 2 assists. I'm trying to check for the blocks. Don't see the blocks. 2 blocks. He has been the one guy we said earlier in this game, Juan Taylor cannot get into foul trouble and sit the bench because Central has nobody that can match the athleticism of Martin, of Snyder if he gets into the paint, of Holland, the length. No one. Hunter Stocker is he's kind of a brawler, football guy.
Yeah.
Juan Taylor is the leaper. And in my opinion, as of right now, we have 3:30 to go. For Central, he's the player of the game.
Holland a long three, got it.
That kid is money. He's got 13, and he's had, what, 5 or 6 in the last couple of possessions.
Yep, hit the big three there. Hawkins double team, throws out of it to Walker. Park open back to George Walker. 57-54. Ballard back to 3-point lead on that 3-point shot by Levon Holland. That was an NBA three, Brian.
Another thing to point out, as Perry now guards Hawkins. When Central was down 16, Ballard got away from the double team to make Hawkins give it up.
Kinja trying to tie it, and in and out. Rebounded by Ballard. Pulling it down was Malik Dow, the freshman.
When Hawkins got to go one-on-one, and he got into the offense a little bit, and it freed up some other people, that's when we've had this rally here by the Indians.
Dow looking for cutters. Now comes out top to Jalen Perry, the sophomore. Down to Martin on Taylor. Turns. Martin's shot won't go. Gets it back. Powers it up and banks it home. And we're going to have a foul called on Madison Central. They will count the basket for Martin. Daniel Park thought it was a charge. And we'll step back, come back to Rupp Arena. 2:28 to play. Ballard back up by 5. 59-54, leading Madison Central here in the state championship. Biggest crowd in about 5 years with over 17,000. As Brian said, 19 plus for that Mason County Simon Kenton game back in '81. So huge crowd. Broke a semifinal record last night with 20,125. So semifinal record last night with those semifinals on Saturday night. Kentucky had already played Florida at noon. So everybody came back to Rupp Arena to enjoy some good high school basketball.
It was a heck of a day for basketball. You had a heck of a rally from UK. You had rallies from Central. You had Matt Montgomery and Ballard going toe-to-toe. We've seen another rally here today.
Yep.
I mean, this has been one whale of a week for basketball.
It's a 2-possession game. 5-point lead for Ballard. 2:15. Hawkins over to Kenja Bosley as Dominic falls down. Bosley into the lane working on Levon Holland. Holland's three-pointer is huge in this game so far. Bosley left side into the lane. Kenja to the basket, throws it up and in. He's fouled. They will count the basket.
For as much as we bragged on Dominique Hawkins, it has been Kenja Bosley that has started the ignition to the rallies, and it's been on these plays on layups on the left side of the goal. It happened against Holmes. It happened against Hoptown. The rally today started on a Bosley layup on the left side, and now this one.
Foul, by the way, 16 points went on Martin. That's his third. So he's got to stay away from that fourth. And free throw knocked down by Kenja Bosley. 17 now. 59-57, Ballard by 2. 2 minutes to go in this state championship here. Who will step up for the Ballard Bruins? Who will step up for Richmond Madison Central, looking for their first ever state championship?
I think if you're Ballard, you get out of the way for Snyder. He's been quiet the last several minutes, and this lead has gone away.
Been stuck on 20 points for quite a while, hasn't he?
You give it to Snyder to clear it out, and then look for Martin underneath.
Holland to the basket, and blocked away by Taylor.
Yeah.
And they're going to call a goaltending.
I thought the ball went off the glass. I think it's a good call.
I like the effort, though. Even though goaltending was called, great effort by Quan Taylor. Madison Central ball. Now they're down by 4. Here is Hawkins hanging right side. Won't go, but he draws the foul. And if that goes on Martin, that'll be his 4th. And that is his 4th, I believe.
It is number 4.
I tell you what, how big would it be, even though you've got if Dominic hits these 2 free throws, it'll be a 2-point ball game. How huge would it be for Central to foul out big number 3 there?
Well, it would be huge mentally.
Yeah.
Right now, Dominic's got to hit these 2 free throws.
1:19 in the state championship. Free throw short there for Dominic, who has been superb at the line. Missed that one. That was a big one. Goes down, flexes a little bit.
With the way Madison Central has had to rally in the games, it takes a lot out of you physically. And I know we have the new format where the kids got the extra night of rest, but still, it's been a lot of comebacks by Central. Do they have one more with a $1:17?
Dominic got the second one, 61-58. Ballard by 3, 1:12. That's Quentin Snyder working to cross. Could be Mr. Basketball this year, next year, right there working on each other, Brian, when you look at those two. Dominic Hawkins up for the finalists this year, and Snyder a junior. He might have double dribbled there.
Close. Minute to go. At
Snyder.
what point, if you don't get the steal?
Kick over to Bird, back to Snyder.
Running the clock.
And then he's going to be fouled on the reach there.
Running the clock has not been effective for any team at this state tournament. Dick Gabriel with Channel 27 and the Big Blue Insider. We were talking about that yesterday. Teams cannot, at the high school level, struggle spreading the floor. Now Snyder has to go to the free throw line where he is 4 of 5 today. One free throw makes it a 2-possession game. And between these two teams, they have 7 timeouts to go. This 49 seconds could be a while.
There you see Antigua, the assistant coach, sitting behind the Central bench.
Yeah, they've been here all week. I wonder why.
Can't imagine. Snyder got them both. Quentin Snyder, the junior, has committed to Louisville. A lot of time left in this game. 63-58, 49.5 seconds at the Boys State Championship. Looking at some numbers in this game. 17 points for Dominic, 17 for Kenja Bosley, Quan Taylor 16. So the big three have 50 of the 58 Madison Central points. They have been huge.
Yeah, it's the big three. And with Taylor with 16 points, he has taken some of the slack of Bosley and by Hawkins, who have really carried the offensive production. And for Ballard, it's been pretty balanced. Let's take a look at the goaltending one more time, maybe from a different angle if we have it. Let's see if the ball went off the glass. Yeah,
yes, it did.
So a very good call by the officials. Madison Central doesn't like it, of course, but replay showed it was a good call. And from the angle we had, you can see the ball come off the glass. And right now, it's a 5-point game. What Madison Central has to do, Ballard is going to double team Hawkins. You have to. You cannot let him spot up for a 3. Help defense, Kenja Bosley. And if that leaves open Daniel Park, he's got to pop a 3.
Well, before we saw that replay, Brian, you mentioned you saw it hit part of the glass there. Those old baseball eyes working there for you, huh?
Old,
you know what I'm saying?
baseball.
Good eagle eyes there. Brian, a former standout at Morehead State and Butler High School in Louisville, Kentucky. So you had some battles with, I'm sure, these Ballard Bruins over the years.
Yeah, Ballard, know them too well from years gone by.
There's the body of work for Snyder. 22 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. That's what I was talking about early in this telecast. It goes unnoticed about his game. He's a very good passer. 7 assists back that up, don't they?
Oh, yeah. His 7 assists was one reason the lead expanded.
Kenja Bosley with Holland on him. Kenja across the line. Central needs a 3 here. 38 seconds. They give to Dominic Hawkins. Hawkins way out top.
There's the double team.
Into the lane. Hawkins hanging. It won't go, but he's fouled there by Dantes Bird. And I tell you who else took a shot. Keelan Martin took a shot into the jaw area there.
He sure did. He's holding his lip. Bird is fouled out.
Yep.
But he's done an admirable job defensively. 0 points. And I'm not sure if Bird even took a shot. Yeah, 2 shots earlier. Watch the shot from right here. Right in the face for Martin. Yeah.
So Dominic Hawkins will be up there, and he will shoot a couple of free throws for the Indians. He could cut this down to a 1-possession game. Ballard up by 5, 32.8 seconds. We said this would be a thriller, and it's turned out to be everything we thought it would be. At one point, Ballard led by 16 points, and Madison Central came full circle, and on Kenja Bosley's 3-pointer out of the left baseline, Brian Milam, they actually took a 53-51 lead.
Incredible comeback from Madison Central, but an even better job from Ballard to hold their ground. And we go back and look at the 3-pointer before the half. Snyder gets fouled at the end of the 3rd. As you mentioned during one of our breaks, that's 5 points you could, in most cases, take off the clock.
Dominic got them both. Big free throw, 63-60 Ballard. This is a one-possession game. Quentin Snyder, dogged by Hawkins, into front court now. Snyder with 28 seconds, tripped up and going to be fouled there by Kenja Bosley.
It's only Bosley's second, only a second. For Hawkins, he's got 3. He and Taylor have 3, and Park has 3. Walker has 3. They don't play a lot of guys. Madison Central does not. And Snyder can show his worth right here. The pressure free throws with the game on the line.
That one's too strong.
And a state championship on the line.
Madison Central seeking their first ever, Brian, as you know, and as you mentioned, Ballard has already got, what, 3 titles there in Louisville, right?
77, 88, 99. They've lost 4 times. Coach Renner 1 for 3 in the championship.
Rattles in, that's a big one. That makes it a 2-possession ball game with 27 seconds. Hawkins trouble getting the inbound pass. Gets it double team, and he's going to call a quick timeout as it was double teamed by Dow and Holland there. Quick timeout with 24.2 seconds, and Ballard leading 64-60. And if you're Coach Renner, what do you tell your Bruins? If you're Coach Feldhouse, what do you tell your Indians?
I think if you're Ballard with 24 seconds, you find Hawkins. Obviously, you've got to double team Hawkins. And you cannot give up. Watch for Madison Central to kind of spread the floor a little bit. You can't give up an easy basket underneath. Madison Central has 3 timeouts. This 24 seconds is going to take a while. And you cannot give up a quick basket where Central can immediately call timeout. And if you're Alan Feldhouse, we score, we stop the clock. If you're Ballard, find 25 and 11. Make the other guys hurt you.
You said these last 24 seconds are going to take a while. I don't think these 17,000 mind at all, Mr.
No,
Milam.
I don't either. I'd like to have some free basketball, honestly.
I would like to have overtime myself, but it's going to take a big shot here by Dominic Hawkins or Bosley and company.
Triple
Hawkins
team.
Down the lane. Hawkins hanging and scoring. We've got a 2-point ball game. And Hawkins now with 21 points at 64-62, and there's still 15 seconds left in this ball game.
A quick basket and the timeout. 3 Ballard guys got around Dominic Hawkins, and he still squirts through the alley.
There he comes into your living room. And finished over Dow and Martin. Of course, Martin with 4 fouls cannot do much defensively.
Well, it was a good job by Dow, who was out of position. His back nearly turned to Hawkins not to foul him.
Madison Central looking for their first state basketball championship. Hey, you know what? If they could pull it out here tonight, their girls are going to go after one next week at the Houses Girls Sweet 16.
Yeah, for the Feldhouse family, it's going to be busy. You know, you've got Coach Feldhouse in charge of the basketball, and you've got Coach Feldhouse in charge of cheerleading, and now Ashton will play next week with the Lady Indians. That play again by Hawkins.
Let's take a look at that. A great move by Dominic there to cut this down to a 2-point ball game. Slicing through, as you said, Brian.
And that's a good job by Dow, just to try to stay out of the way. And that kid is just a special player.
Is he Mr. Basketball?
I think there's no way he can't be. So many people have made their claim or stamped. They got the stamp of approval on a Mr. Basketball when you do it on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
Derek Willis at Bullitt East signs with UK.
But he didn't get here.
Omar Pruitt, heck of a game.
He made a statement.
Game 1.
Yeah, made a statement.
But Dominic Hawkins has been the best player at this state tournament.
He's kind of put an exclamation on it, I think. High pass, and did they throw it away? Yes, they did. Hawkins has got it with 11 seconds. Dominic into the lane, and he is going to be tripped away. Bosley, right side, launches a 3. Oh! It's hit by Bosley. Madison Central has the lead.
Incredible.
What a shot by Kenja Bosley.
Falling away. An incredible shot, the shot of a lifetime. But if you're Madison Central, there's still 2 seconds to go. The game is not over. Let's take a look at it.
Look at Kenja. He can't believe he hit it.
The bad pass by Martin, the only thing he's done wrong all day.
Walker made the play, Brian. That's Walker making that play. And
Bosley does not hesitate.
What a shot.
A shot for the ages.
Goodness gracious.
But there's still 2.2 seconds to go.
That is big time.
You remember Darrell Cross Jr. hit the 3 to send it to overtime a couple of years ago. Christian County wins it at the buzzer in overtime. If you're Alan Feldhouse, you've got to calm your kids down.
Oh, they're calm.
Now, I take out Walker. What I would do, look at this. Dribble, and just happens to be there, does Bosley. Wow.
That's like destiny. Is that like destiny or what? When the ball, it looks like Hawkins going to turn it over. It goes right to one of the best three-point shooters in the state.
Incredible. I think if I'm Feldhouse, Coach Feldhouse, I might want to put in DeMarcus George, who's a little taller. He's not on the court. 2 seconds.
That's all they are. 2 seconds away from a state crown, Brian Milam.
My goodness.
At Madison Central. First time ever.
Now, if you're Ballard, there's time.
Look at this crowd.
Let's look. Let's see if Ballard does the Bryce Drew play from Valpo. You catch it and you pass it to a wide-open man.
And you kick it. And remember, they do have Quentin Snyder, who banked one in at half court at the end of the first half.
Timeout Ballard. They want to see the defensive alignment from Madison Central.
And let's go back to that.
Oh, my.
That shot, remember the shot he banked in Snyder at halftime from 3.
And he was heavily guarded.
Yes, very heavily guarded.
You want Snyder to take it. You want him to have his hands on the basketball. Let's see if we get out of Ballard a pick at the half-court spot. The pass is the key to this whole thing right here.
Here's the first half shot we were just talking about, right on cue by the great job, and there it is. Look at that shot.
I mean, that's a heave, and it's part of the game plan that Ballard had in the first half where everything was going right for them. That was just the statement that said, yeah, this is our half. Now, Kenja Bosley, the kid just put his hands up and he said 2 seconds. Now, let's see if Snyder gets his hands on the basketball. That's what they're playing for.
Who will get that banner hanging? It will hang in their school for eternity. 65-64 and the Kenja Bosley 3. They get it in. Snyder, half court. Here's a heave.
Nope.
It's off the mark. Madison Central wins the state championship on a Kenja Bosley three-pointer that fell right in his lap on the right side as it bounced away from Mr. Basketball Dominic Hawkins. Madison Central knocks off Ballard 65-64 and one for the ages, Brian Milam.
Speechless.
Instant classic.
It's just speechless. This game needs to be replayed over and over again. The heart of a champion.
Well, it will be tonight at 7 o'clock.
To rally 3 times against Covington Holmes, a 30-game winner. A 30-game winner with Hoptown. A 30-game winner with Ballard. Madison Central does the improbable.
For the folks watching live on KHSAA.tv, tell everybody this game will be replayed tonight at 7 o'clock on the CW. At 7 o'clock, we'll be back and wrap things up. 65-64, Madison Central wins the state championship.